If you close your eyes, can you make out the sky? Is there a sky?
What are you staring at?
You.
Rick, you gotta get over that, man. You lost Joanne to puberty, you ain't getting her back.
Look, man, what are we gonna do?
Let's go to the nut house. What do you say?
Are there any security guards there or something?
There's no security guards, man. The place is dead.
It looks like a dead end.
You can see a door down here. Push harder,
JT, what the hell, man? What's going on?
You can believe this, Rick.
We gotta get out of here, JT. Come on, second. We could keep her.
Is there something that you gotta see?
What'd you do to her, JT? What the f did you do to her?
Look at her.
This isn't real. She's staying here with us.
Hey, baby, you miss me? Hey, Ricky, everything all right?
Just asking for trouble, JT. We're all gonna get arrested or worse.
Down here, we're in control. We call the shots. Joanne Skinner? She never choose you, man.
Thinks I can't see him when he's staring over Joanne.
Whatever you hear after tonight, I want you to know that I tried to stop you. Do you understand me? I'm gonna get you out of here, okay?
Joanne Skinner, man, what were you thinking? This is the best we're ever gonna have. I am doing this for your benefit, Rick. She's all yours.
Welcome to the Blind Rage Podcast. This is Brandon Ford.
And I'm Tony the Tiger, the Thunder from Down Under. Happy to be here with you again.
Happy to have you, as always. And this week we are doing the 2000... Is this 8? I think this is 2000.
I believe it is. I've got everything else printed out, but not the date. So
Okay. 2008. I don't know why I keep picking these movies and I don't know how to classify them. Because this is not really a horror film. Well, let's call it
a sexual horror film.
a dark coming-of-age psychosexual horror film with a splash of zombie erotica.
A recreation of my puberty.
Mm-hmm. So we're doing Deadgirl, not to be confused with The Deadgirl, starring Toni Collette and Brittany Murphy.
Ah.
You never saw that one?
No.
No.
But the name sounds familiar.
It wasn't very good.
I liked her in the Black Book, or Little Black Book, sorry.
Okay. But before we get started, I need to get the plugs out of the way. So I'd like to encourage everyone to check out my books in paperback and Kindle editions by going to Amazon.com or the Amazon app on your smartphone, typing in Brandon Ford. There you'll find several of my titles, as well as my Amazon author page, which you can follow to get email notifications whenever I have a new release. I also have titles in audiobook format on audible.com, as well as the Audible app. Just type in Brandon Ford. If you don't already, please follow me on Instagram at writer Brandon Ford, on Twitter and Letterboxd at Brandon Ford. You can follow Tony on Letterboxd at Tony_the_bear. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, critiques, suggestions, recommendations, feel free to email me directly at blindragepod81@gmail.com or contact me via the official Blind Rage Podcast Facebook page. And while you're there, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast.
No, I've never mentioned, but whenever you post up there we're recording together, you mention me, and if anyone wants to follow me on Facebook, you can. It's nothing very interesting. But I generally accept anyone, so.
Well, I didn't know if you wanted me to, and I don't know what the hell your Facebook ID is.
Oh, that can try find it. It can be a challenge.
It could be, yes, because you have a name that is let's just say difficult to pronounce.
Well, it's Tony, and then the last part is named after a prophet from the Ottoman Empire. So there are your 2 hints.
Like anybody knows what the hell you're talking about. So before we get into Deadgirl, have you been watching anything of note lately?
Well, I recently watched the, I think it's 1984, David Lynch's Dune. And every time I say that, I say, how you doing? And it was interesting. It wasn't, I'm not the biggest sci-fi fan, but I was interested to watch it by way of how he would interpret sci-fi and deliver it. And it was interesting enough. There was a lot of thought voiceover, which I haven't experienced in a long time. So that was a nice little throwback. The other thing I've been watching is the Great British Bake Off, and it's got a very handsome Cyprian. So anyone who's into that, give that a go.
No.
And what have you
movies
been
or
watching,
anything?
Brandon? Huh?
No movies or anything? Or, well, you just said Dune, but yeah.
Well, I watched.
Well, a lot of people
I watched
haven't.
Single All the Way, and
Oh, a lot of people have been watching Dune because there's a new one, isn't there?
yes.
Yeah. So I've noticed in a lot of the podcasts I listen to, a lot of people have been going back to revisit the original. I don't
And
know.
what have they been saying about that one?
Well, generally these are horror podcasts. So
Oh, okay, yeah, it's not
they-
very horror-y at all.
No. One podcast that I enjoy very much said that, it just wasn't for him. I actually have 2 revisits that I'd care to discuss. The first is called Dybbuk Box, The Story of Chris Chambers. Are you familiar?
Not at all.
Well, are you familiar with a Dybbuk box?
I don't think so.
A Dybbuk box is a box that you can buy on eBay, but it is preferable that you buy it on the dark web because
Oh, okay.
on
Sorry.
eBay you can get conned. But a Dybbuk box is they're generally sealed in wax, and inside is a demon. But there's also like some paraphernalia, like a lock of hair or something, I guess, that belonged to the demon while it was in human form. And it is believed that the demon will inhabit whoever opens the box. So there was a trend of people buying these boxes and opening them on YouTube.
Doing like an unboxing, yeah.
An unboxing, yeah. And I had never heard of it until I stumbled upon the documentary. As I said, it's called Dybbuk Box, the story of Chris Chambers on Tubi, and it was under the documentary section. So I watched it, and I thought it was very interesting. It follows a guy named Chris from when he has the idea about buying a Dybbuk box, and he talks about the history of them and what he knows and what he's discovered and how to buy them, what the best way is to buy them. And so he orders one, it comes in the mail, and he doesn't open it right away because he wants to do some tests on it, and he has some kind of, ghost meter or whatever. I don't fucking know. But as soon as he opens it, strange things start to happen. And this is shot all documentary style with like one camera and him just talking into the camera. It's just him.
Yeah.
And so doors start opening and closing. The items in the Dybbuk box are laying on the table next to the box while he's in the other room, and when he comes back, they're back in the box. There's some things going on with the thermostat where it goes from freezing cold to boiling hot, and he said he can't sleep at night because every time he's about to fall asleep, he feels fingers prodding him. And I thought the most unsettling moment was at the very end, and I'm sure that there were some disclaimers or something that I couldn't read, but he starts to feel ill, and I think the last line that he says is, "I don't feel like Chris anymore." And the way he said it, it just sounded really odd.
Yeah.
So I found it kind of freaky. And I watched it some months back, and I don't know, I decided to check it out again. And he came across as very convincing. And then he had a friend who had experienced some ghostly phenomena when she was 10, and he called her and had her come over and explained to her what was going on with the box. And the very first thing that she said was, "Is this a joke?" And I was like, oh. And she did not come across anywhere near as natural as he did. So that was a huge red flag right there. But I couldn't find anything about it. And so I did some Googling, and it depends on where you look. But in some places it's called Dybbuk Box, The True Story of Chris Chambers, or The Story of Chris Chambers. On Tubi, it's called The Story of Chris Chambers. So it's marketed as a true documentary, and there is supposed to be a disclaimer at the beginning that said it has been gone over by experts in the field, and it is supposed to be the most authentic depiction of psychic phenomena caught on video.
Okay.
And then I found on IMDb in the trivia, his name is not Chris Chambers. It's Joseph Mazziola or something Italian.
Yep.
And he runs a small production company called Maz Appeal. And
oh God,
he does like
that's a good title.
it is, yeah. And he does all different kinds of videos, wedding videos, and I think he also does like music videos. But he works a lot in the video field, and he does some short films. And the girl was actually his wife. So the whole thing was a hoax. And not that I really believed it, I just found some of it to be a little unsettling because, like I said, he came across as very natural and believable. But she did not. Whether or not you believe, I still think it's interesting. It's entertaining. It's very simply done. It probably didn't cost anything to make. But you know, you got these people out there who are watching it and thinking that it's real, and
enjoy it for that. Yes,
enjoy it for that.
I haven't really been a fan of found footage movies. I'm not really a fan of Blair Witch, but I actually have a respect for it, being it was sort of the trailblazer. One that I did like that I watched recently was the Poughkeepsie tapes, and I thought that was done well. But I tend to shy away from found footage and like the paranormal. You know that. I can't even remember the name of it. Paranormal Activity ones.
Oh, Paranormal. I tried to watch the first one and it was awful, I thought. And I was like, this is all the fucking hype is about. It was like somebody's like boring ass home videos. And they were like footage of people in the theaters like screaming and terrified.
Yeah.
Like, what? The other revisit, I think we spoke about this before. This one was actually a book that I read not that long ago. It's called Lie With Me by Philippe Besson. And it's a French novel. It was translated by Molly Ringwald, and it's a gay love story about these two boys who meet each other in high school and have illicit sexual encounters in private places, and do so until one moves to Spain to do something with this family or something. And for the narrator, he remains, the one who got away. And he is at peace with his sexuality. The other one is not. He ends up getting married and has a family, and the narrator becomes a writer and is on a book tour, and he comes across who he thinks is the other guy, whose name is Tomas, and it turns out to be his son. And so he gets acquainted with him to find out what's going on with them and blah blah blah. I wasn't impressed with it the first time I read it. I remain as such. It left much to be desired. A lot of it was telling instead of showing. It was very short. And
So was this the movie or the book?
a book. This was a book.
Yep.
And the sex scenes really weren't all very stimulating, and I don't think what they were really supposed to be necessarily, because it was supposed to be a love story, but so it's Call Me by Your Name,
spoken by Molly Ringwald. I feel that if it was supposed to be sexual, it would have been a male narrator.
No, she didn't read it. A male narrator did read it. She translated it.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
No, a male narrator read it.
Yeah.
But like I said before, there are an inordinate amount of gay love stories written by women. I don't know what that's about.
For men though, yeah.
Yes.
I've got a shitload of lesbian books though that I want to bingo, so I need to start trying to get into them, but I haven't wanted to.
I haven't read that many gay love stories, and literary ones, you know.
Yeah.
But the ones that I have read, I don't know why, but they all have to end on a down note.
Yeah.
It's
I've
always
written a few gay movies that I quite like them, even though I wrote them.
Yeah. Well, it's like, you know, always hiding one's identity gets into the way. It gets in the way for whatever reason, whether it be culture or society or family or job. There's always a reason why one of them
A hurdle, yeah.
they can't come out, and that prevents them from being together. And that was the case with this one. It just felt like something I'd read before, but not done as well.
Okay.
So there's that. And that's all I've got.
Until today, where we're watching a movie.
Yes, we are watching Deadgirl.
Yes.
And this is the unrated director's cut, which is 1 hour 41 minutes and 19 seconds or something?
I got 37.
Okay, well then that's probably what it is. Yeah, it's the unrated director's cut, but I've never seen a cut version, so I don't even know if one exists.
Yeah.
But if you are watching Deadgirl and you never heard of it, it's all one word. Deadgirl,
yes.
Deadgirl. Okay, so we're going to get started, and if you're watching along, please have your movie queued up, because we're going to begin with a 3 count. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, play.
Now, it's one of those movies with a fair bit of silence at the beginning. It took a while for it to start loading for me.
You know, with movies like this, and we were talking about this with Skinner too, I don't understand how these low budget filmmakers are able to find areas of Los Angeles and make them not look like Los Angeles at all and make them look like these gritty industrial towns, which is the case with this. Because I didn't know that this was, well, this was, a lot of it was North Hollywood.
Okay.
So we have Ricky and JT, and I think a lot of this too. There's a lot of different themes in this, and one of them is friendship, because they've been friends their whole lives, and the dead girl does come between them because one doesn't necessarily want to follow the other in what they want to do. But you know what I was thinking about, especially when they bring the other kids in.
People along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it reminded me of The Girl Next Door, which I don't think you've seen, but it was based on a novel by Jack Ketchum that was based on a true story. And yeah, they have a girl tied up in the basement, and the mother is like kind of a sociopath, and she keeps her tied up and blindfolded, and she lets her sons take turns raping her, and then they bring other kids in the neighborhood to take turns raping her. So it kind of reminded me of that a little bit.
See, this movie, it actually reminded me of Weird Science.
Okay.
That's where my mind started wandering off to. That it sort of was like a very dark John Hughes type of movie.
Okay, I didn't get that at all.
That's where my mind started wandering off to. And especially there's a bit later where, like, I was reading about Weird Science, and there's Gary and Wyatt get humiliated by the jocks for gawking over their girlfriends, and that happens in this movie, and and then yada yada yada.
Yeah. Interestingly, since I said this reminded me of The Girl Next Door. What's his name? Shiloh Fernandez was in an adaptation of another one of Jack Ketchum's books, a movie called Red.
Okay.
The other guy, Noah, what's his name?
Segan.
Noah Segan. He was in Cabin Fever 2.
Oh, okay. He's in a lot of Ryan Johnson movies.
Both of them have gone on to be in a lot of big movies.
Yeah. Well, Ricky Shiloh was in the Evil Dead remake.
Yes.
And then a show called Euphoria, which I started watching, but sort of fell out of watching.
So, what was your reaction when you first watched this?
I thought it was interesting, but I didn't really enjoy it. I found it tonally a bit boring. I liked all the ideas of it, but I just thought that the delivery was a bit, I guess, almost like the easiest option of how to do it. I think I would have preferred it not comedic, but just started becoming a bit almost far-fetched almost. I think like that's probably why my mind started wandering off and like thinking about John Hughes, is that I would have liked in my head like a horror version of a John Hughes type of story, especially with these teenagers. I felt that their shift in personality was far too adult.
Okay.
That had it been portrayed lighter, but as grisly, I think I could have gotten into it better.
Do you think they behaved more like adults than like children?
That, but also like even just to find a dead body and then to start going straight away into their reaction to it seemed not mature, but like of a person that's years older who has developed like a mentality.
Well, it was.
They never seemed like high schoolers.
It was described their characters in the commentaries, but like I was saying off mic, there were so many fucking people talking, it was hard to follow. But in all honesty, the first time I watched this, I was so skeeved out by it that I really felt like I needed a shower.
Oh, okay.
I just thought it was so...
I wasn't terribly disturbed by it, but...
I don't think I was disturbed. I just thought it was so sleazy.
Yeah. See, but even that, I think if it lent into the sleaziness, I just found it a bit of a heavy-handed movie.
Heavy-handed?
Yes. I'm not saying this all happily. I'm not upset that I watched it. I'm happy to watch it again.
You know what I think?
Although Shiloh, just I don't know why, but the image of Ricky, he keeps changing for me. Like sometimes I think it's quite cute, and then other times I'm like, oh, it's a bit not. And then other scenes, I thought, is that him?
Well, they're in a very dark hospital.
No, well, I realize that now, but
with shadows and.
Although I was that Noah plays this type of role that is playing very well. He's done it in like I sort of see it in Looper and Brick. He did a sort of similar menace. It was in a anthology that I might check out if I can find it, called Scare Package. It was one of the few anthologies that got a good review, but
my friend Becca's husband, Tony, coincidentally, his name's Tony, and he is much like myself in that he watches horror primarily, and he watches Shudder all the time. And he said that one, he really liked that one, but I was hesitant to check it out because it did get a lot of bad reviews on Amazon from what I saw.
Oh, okay. When I say it got good reviews, I think it got like 6.1 out of 10. It wasn't, but in saying that, that's a 3-star movie. That's fine, you know. Something I have to remind myself sometimes is that my favorite 90s comedies were 2-star movies. Like, I remember House Sitter got 2 stars, and I quite enjoy that. And
Yes, we both
think
enjoy
Overboard.
House Sitter.
Hmm?
We both enjoy House Sitter
Even Made to Order.
and Made to
like-
Order. Soap Dish wasn't a flop, was it? I don't think so.
I don't know. I remember one review, because I used to have that book, Leonard Maltin's.
Oh,
That big
fuck
fat book.
Leonard Maltin.
Well, it was the only one I had access to. Saying that Whoopi Goldberg was miscast, but I thought she was fine.
I thought she was fantastic. I thought everybody was.
Yeah, and I think also Robert Downey got a bit of a credit, but I thought everyone was quite good at it.
Yeah, I
didn't
liked
find any
everybody.
weak link.
No,
Developed my gay crush on Elizabeth Shue.
Well, yeah, that was yours. That movie was yours, and I told you mine was Adventures in Babysitting, which you still haven't
That's
seen.
right, yes.
Well, I believe I saw The Karate Kid before I saw Adventures in Babysitting, but Adventures in Babysitting was when I had my non-sexual crush on her.
Yes.
So did you find any interesting trivia?
No, there was not much trivia at all. Just sort of saying someone's film debut or something like that.
Well, the directors are... They said that they saw a bit of themselves to a degree in
Okay.
the Ricky and JT characters, and that they had grown up together and had known each other all their lives, and they went to film school together, I believe, and they'd done some shorts, and they
Well-
really wanted to make a feature,
Yeah.
and they knew the screenwriter, Trent something. Is that his name?
Yeah. I think he had a double A.
Yeah, they went to
Haga,
his,
something like that. Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, they went to his house or his apartment or something, and they were looking at his unproduced scripts, and they saw Deadgirl on the shelf, and he was like, "Don't even look at that one. Nobody's ever gonna. It's not going to get made. Nobody's ever going to make that." And of course, they were like, "Okay, well, we have to read this."
That's a challenge, yes.
It's so they both read it, and they were like, "Okay, we definitely have to make this." So that's how it came to be, and he had a decent hand in it in making the movie, I believe. Because I think he was a friend of theirs as well.
Yeah.
So they all basically knew each other. And
And the girl in the bags hasn't done much more. I think she's only been in 3 films as an actress. Just by the way, I thought.
well, she was cast by video.
Okay.
I don't remember. I guess her agent got her in touch with the directors or something. I don't know. And they told her what to do. She didn't have to get naked, but they were like, they told her to make the kinds of faces that the dead girl makes and to make the kinds of sounds. And they were impressed with the tape, and they cast her based on that.
Yeah.
I don't think Noah even had to read. I think he was cast because they liked him in something else.
Yeah. Something I found interesting, I was looking at the directors and their filmography, is that Marcel lent more into the horror, whereas Gadi Harrell, his other major movie was called Operation Midnight Climax, and that was about tantric sex. So it's almost like this movie is the mix of the two genres that they went into.
And that was a how-to.
Oh, was it?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Oh, you're a shit. No, I don't think it was. Although one movie I wanted to watch, and it was on John Waters' top 10 list for the year. It's Tom Six's movie. I forget the name of it, but it's about these women who find sexual gratification in, like, tragedies.
Oh, God.
Well, I didn't mind Cronenberg's Crash, whereas some people really didn't like it.
Well, no, I said, oh, God, because I'm thinking that Tom Six is probably going to try to outdo himself.
Yes. Although I haven't seen any of the Human Centipedes, because their storylines don't really interest me. And reading what it was about, I felt I could imagine the whole movie anyway.
Well, first of all, what people fail to even mention with that is it wouldn't work. They would die of sepsis.
Well.
And this guy's supposed to be a doctor, and this never crossed his mind that these people would be living on bacteria.
Yes.
That's
well.
It's not feasible. And he had said, Tom Six had said that the movie is medically accurate. No, it's not.
He lied. Because in the sequel, I think it starts with medically inaccurate.
Well, I saw parts of the second one, and it was just a little too goofy for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I really didn't do much as far as looking up stuff about it, because I really didn't care. But there is a scene where there's a woman who has who goes into labor in a car, and when she's trying to get away, and the baby falls under the pedal, and she tries to accelerate, and she crushes the baby's head.
Yeah.
And that's like supposed to be the most shocking moment in the movie. And there are some fans of that one for some reason.
Well, people, they say, I think reviews were saying that part 2 was better than part 1. Just, I don't know why, but yeah, but like I say, I've never been too interested in watching the Human Centipede movies. Just, I've said before is that I don't really tend to watch prequels because I like the possibility of a victim of there being a survivor. In saying that, there doesn't need to be a survivor, but if I go into a movie knowing that everyone's going to die, I can't really be bothered with it. And seeing what the story of the Human Centipede was like, my feeling was, I don't think people are going to come out of this, so I just couldn't bother to watch it.
I think one girl lives. Well,
no, well, it ends with it ends because you see the ending at the beginning of part 2. It ends with just the lead guy, I think, living, but he's going to be dying because he's trapped with these other bodies. But it's been a long time since I saw that sequence anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, this new one by Tom Six, but John Waters was saying, no, but nobody wants to distribute it, and he feels that no one will.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if I should say this because I always keep the This will give away exactly when this has been recorded, which I prefer to keep ambiguous. But Did you hear that Anne Rice died?
I did. Although embarrassed, I actually thought she was someone who was dead years ago, but
Oh my god.
no, it was for the community. It's a loss.
Mm.
Were you a fan of her books?
No. I wonder if her son is gonna, post a shirtless eulogy on his Instagram or something.
Oh, I see. Maybe.
Yeah, that's what he was known for when he first started publishing books. Is all he did was post shirtless pictures of himself, because that
Maybe
was
he was
his
being
way.
ironic.
No, that was his way of selling books.
Yeah.
It was, look how hot I am.
Yep.
And it must have worked because his books have sold, and I hear that they're not very good, and he's not a very good writer.
Yeah. What's his name?
Christopher.
Okay.
I don't think I ever cared to look him up. So I don't even know what the hell he looks like, if he's attractive. But you had said that you couldn't find the fucking top 10 John Waters movies, and now you found it. Like, what
yes,
the
I did.
fuck?
I think I screenshotted it just so I could look them up.
Mm-hmm.
No, because we had discussed this because that's what put me onto Climax, because that had been in the top 10 of one of his. And again, this year, one of them includes just Gaspar Noé.
He's got a new movie?
Yeah.
And what's that one called?
I'll tell you later, because I don't like playing around with my phone and computer.
No,
while
you
we're
shouldn't.
talking.
No, not right now. Do you remember any of the titles?
No.
Oh, for
No.
God's sake. Yes, I forgot you've been lobotomized, so you...
Yeah. I have no short-term or long-term memory. I've got medium-term memory.
Mm-hmm. Do you lose your keys a lot?
Yes. I have to tattoo my passwords.
Mm-hmm.
You realize that, man? You fucking killed her. And you bring me down here and show me fucking corpse pants? Rick, you sick fuck.
This was also kind of reminding me of that gay horror porno that I was, for about 30 seconds, considering doing a commentary for. LA Zombie, with the guy from the Saw, Francois Sagat, or however you say his name.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, because
Sagat.
Yeah, I should know how to say it because it's French, but well, it ends with a T, so it's probably Sagat.
Yes.
But fucking yeah, in LA Zombie, there are people who get shot, and he fucks them in the bullet holes.
Oh, okay. Sounds wonderful.
Yeah, and there's black ejaculate.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So is it a porno or a horror?
Francois?
No, the movie.
Oh, it's porn.
The LA Zombie.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Where did they get shot?
I never watched it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but you'd think it was a pre-existing hole that they're gonna start penetrating.
Well, he does do that too. That's basically what the whole movie. There's really no story. I mean, like he's supposed to be. he's supposed to be some kind of alien or zombie or something. You don't know what he is. He's kind of like Deadgirl.
Okay.
But the movie starts with him coming out of the ocean, Nancy Downs
Naked?
style. And yeah, he comes to the shore and he just immediately starts encountering people who have been in car wrecks and are like lying strewn across the road, and he like fucks them back to life. And then he goes to a bar where there's been a shootout, and then he starts fucking people in their bullet holes, and then they come back to life. And basically that's, or like there's a knife fight or some shit, and yeah, let me fuck you in your stab wound. And
So he's
that's
a penile paramedic.
I guess, I don't know. But that's really what the whole movie is. There's no story. And then, like, after he fucks a bunch of people, I think he buries himself or something in a cemetery. I don't fucking know. It just sounded so stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, it did play film festivals in an R-rated version without all the penetration, and I don't know how they could have done that because there's nothing else to the movie. But I think the triple X version is something like an hour and 40 minutes, and the version with all of the penetration cut out is an hour.
Okay.
And I feel like we talked about this before because fucking I always forget his name. But the guy who was in the Cherish video who Madonna dated for a while, Tony something.
In the what video? Cherish.
Cherish. He was one of the mermen.
Yeah.
He was a model.
Yeah.
Tony something.
Romaro?
No. But he's in it in a non-sexual role. Not that that's, a selling point.
At the
or anything.
beach? Yeah.
I have a feeling this is going to end up being one of those commentaries where we talk about everything other than the movie.
Well, when was the first time that you watched this movie? And how do you feel about the movie? You enjoy it?
I still think it's pretty sleazy. I saw it maybe 10 years ago.
See, when you say sleazy, a movie that I love, that I find very sleazy, is Wild Things. So,
oh god,
I see
Wild
sleazy as a happy thing.
Is like fucking PG. Oh shit, I hit the mic.
You dropped the mic on that one.
I like it. I don't think it's sleazy. I think it's a bit far-fetched. Speaking of far-fetched movies, some of the stuff is like, come on. Like when Nev Campbell showed up, it's like, really? Kevin Bacon's reaction was,
when they,
"You're dead," and she was like, "No, I'm not." Really? That's the best you could do?
She's Canadian. What?
Oh, so she should be forgiven for that awful wig?
It looked like Shannon Doherty's hair when she tried to dye in 90210.
Okay. Have you seen any of the sequels?
No. I did see the sequel to Cruel Intentions, but not to
That was a
Wild Things.
prequel, and that was awful.
That's right, yes. It played, I remember, it had Amy Adams in it, didn't it?
I don't know. But that was like Angel 4. That was supposed to be the pilot for a series.
Oh, okay.
And it didn't get
Yes.
picked up. Yeah, that I used to see in the $5 bin at Walmart all the time. And then then I started seeing Cruel Intentions 3.
Yes.
Wild Things 2 and 3 I used to see in the $5 bin all the time as well.
Yes.
But then they made Wild Things 4 some.
Yes, that's right.
Which I have.
My sister saw them and she liked them. That they're all, I don't mind entering into a movie if you know it's going to be what it's like and it delivers what you expect. Then I can appreciate a movie,
That's
regardless of how bad it is. Like, and by bad I mean like bad acting and everything. But
I have all of them. But I only watched the first and the second one. The first one I've seen that since it first came out. And I've seen it many times. I don't know. And like I said, I used to see the second and third one in the $5 bin all the time, but I just never had any interest in seeing them. And now that I've been doing this podcast, it's like, oh, well, maybe I should watch this. Maybe this would be good fodder. But yeah, I watched the second one, and yeah, it was fine. It was as you described. It was exactly what you would expect it to be. It wasn't.
yeah,
It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't anything spectacular, and I wasn't disappointed because my expectations were low.
yeah. I completely forgot to tell you. I bought Showgirls on Blu-ray. And I've yet to give that a watch over, so I was happy to find that.
Are you super excited?
I am, but my one annoyance is I had wanted to, because I had said it in an earlier podcast we did, I bought myself a projector for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have liked to screen that, but it's a DVD projector, so I need to just see if I can connect my Blu-ray player to the DVD projector. Because it does have spots for like USB and HDMI, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to screen that for friends.
Probably. If it's got an HDMI.
And then never see them again.
Does yours have the commentary track with whatever that guy's name is?
Paul, no, I'm not sure. I mean, I haven't. The only thing I looked at it is it comes in a slip cover type of thing, and the actual case underneath has got like a Japanese art of it.
What?
It's got like a picture of Elizabeth Berkeley, and with some like Mandarin or Japanese writing. I wouldn't be able to tell you which. But
What, did you get an import?
no. I think just the art is a different. Because the front, it comes in like a metallic sleeve, which is, it's got like it's a I'm not going to go get it, but it's got like a, let's say Summer Sensation is the is something like that is the type of collection that it's part of.
Okay.
And then the cover under the sleeve has got some foreign picture of it. So
All right.
I thought it looked good.
Well, it got well, there was a Blu-ray I think for the 15th anniversary edition, and it had a totally different cover, which I hated. It was just like a very basic shot of Elizabeth Berkeley just like kind of looking off, and it just said Showgirls in a very basic blue typeface. And I don't even think there was anything on it as far as supplementals. But this one came out again to coincide with the release of the You Don't Know Me documentary. And it's got the same artwork, but they fucked with the typeface for the title, which I could barely see it, but I was like, that's not it. I don't like it.
You knew it was different, yeah.
I knew it was different. I know Showgirls, baby. Yeah, but I used to have the VIP edition, which came out
Valerie Iron Protection.
Yes. Which came out for the 10th anniversary edition, and it was a huge box set that had drinking games in it. It came with shot glass. Yeah, it came with the movie, the DVD. It came with 2 shot glasses, a deck of playing cards, pasties with a big poster of Nomi, so you can, and a blindfold, so you can play pin the tail on the boobs. Well, it was pin the pasties on the Showgirls, but I just like to say pin the tail on the boobs. And when I say pasties, they were not pasties; they were suction cups with little, tassels hanging off of them. But yeah, so it had all that stuff, but it had a bunch of cards with different games that you could play, and they were drinking games, but in each on each card it said, choose your favorite, and in big bold letters, capital letters, non-alcoholic beverage, because they knew people were going to die of alcohol poisoning with this shit. But yeah, I never played any of the games, but this was the first edition, I'm pretty sure, that had the commentary track of the guy who I think put the You Don't Know Me documentary together, or I know he participated in it, but he's like the biggest, Showgirls fanatic, and he hosts screenings all the time. And his commentary's on it, and it's on the new one that I just got not too long ago, and I was listening to it for the first time since I got the VIP edition, and he does a lot of not talking because he's so mesmerized by the fucking movie. And all he keeps saying is, "Oh, she's so good. Oh, I love this part."
God, that could have been part of the drinking game. Or the non-alcoholic drinking game. Maybe you need a certain license to encourage drinking or something.
Well, he says this in the documentary and on the commentary, but he picked a lot on the whole thing with Nomi's nails, and because he was trying to say that Joe Esterhaus didn't know how to write women, so all he could think to do was write about their nails, or naked and talking about being naked, or eating chips. And with the nails thing, I always saw it as something that Nomi was truly proud of, that she could actually do. I think that she liked to dance, but I don't think she was really proud of it. This was her being artistic in a way.
Yeah.
And you could see how excited she is in the beginning when she shows them to Molly.
Yeah.
And then
it's like a good friend of mine is a drag queen, but his doing a nail business, and he's quite proud of his nails. So he like whenever he
there you go.
shows people his nails. Yeah.
So that proves my point. So yeah, that was her thing, and then Crystal found that out early in the movie, because when she says to Molly, she says your friend has nice nails, and Molly says she does them herself, and she used that as ammo later.
Yes.
When she says I'm getting a little too old for that hoary look. So she was, using something that Nomi was proud of against her, and I'm surprised that somebody who had seen this movie as many times as this guy didn't pick up on that.
Didn't put those two together.
Didn't put it together. No, because it seemed like the most obvious thing in the world to me. And this from when I saw it when I was like fucking 14.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I saw that movie. What did you say?
Joe had written strong female parts in the past that talk more about, than just now. So I don't see why.
Yeah. I think Sharon Stone's character in Basic Instinct was a strong female character.
Yeah. And they did Flashdance.
Yeah. Not one of my favorites.
But then actually I hadn't seen Flashdance. I watched Showgirls before Flashdance. And it was only maybe 4 years ago that I saw and I actually found the dialogue and acting were on similar. But to have Flashdance be so appreciated and Showgirls not, I thought, I wonder.
Well,
they're basically the same movie for me and the same delivery.
Well, there's no nudity in Flashdance, is there? Therein lies the problem. Remember Paula Abdul's homage with the cold-hearted snake video?
No. Oh, Flashdance?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know.
You didn't know that was what she was doing?
I never saw Cold Hearted.
Oh, for God's sake. You call yourself a homosexual?
A gay man. I used to like Opposites Attract.
Well, I think a lot of people liked the first album, but if you liked anything after that, it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh, I quite liked My Love Is For Real. That was one of her, later tracks.
Was that the one that she premiered on American Idol? When she was still
I
a
don't
judge?
think so. I think it was before that, yeah.
Okay, we should talk about the movie.
Yes. Although she did co-wrote Kylie Minogue song.
Yeah, she wrote, what was it?
Spinning Around.
Yeah. Yeah, she's written songs for, I think she's written a few songs for Kylie and for other people. She's not a very good singer.
So, Jenny, actually, Deadgirl, Jenny Spain was in, I don't mind, poor Laz a singer. She was in Jenny was in a movie called American Girls, which I wouldn't mind checking out. But it's got someone called Bai Ling, and I don't know what type of actress she is. Bai Ling.
Yeah, she was like kind of famous in the 90s.
Yeah.
She was in that movie.
She was in The Crow.
She was in that movie. I think what really got her a lot of attention was that movie with Richard Gere.
Red Dragon.
Red Dragon, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think she kind of fizzled out. And then she went crazy. And she started like saying she was from the moon and shit.
I think the movie Red Dragon got Richard Gere banned from China.
Ooh.
And it still applies, yeah.
Well, what about fucking... What was that movie with, fucking Claire Danes? It was like a similar concept.
Return to Paradise?
Was that it?
Or something like that?
Something Paradise. Yeah, it was like she was...
And Anne Heche, was she in it?
I don't fucking know.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of the Anne Heche one. Okay.
Ricky, that you?
I think that might have been Thailand.
Oh.
No.
I don't like that doggy. Oh.
I don't know what the dog added to the movie. I was kind of hoping more from it.
I don't think the dog was initially in the script.
Yeah.
Did you know?
I mean, just because you don't know anything about the dead girl, so I thought it would be good if there was
you thought
some
the dog
like mythology or something. Yeah.
But this whole hospital they utilized a lot of for like the classrooms.
Yeah.
And the pilot for ER was shot there.
Really? Okay.
And some episodes of Scrubs. Yeah, it's been used for a lot of different things. And there is actual asbestos in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which if it's keeps where it is, then it's fine.
You know what was kind of fucked up was in that room where the dead girl is kept, a lot of the crew were wearing masks and they wouldn't give her one.
Ah.
Because, you know, she had to be ready to go at a second's notice, so they wouldn't give her one.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they were nice enough to put heated blankets on her because she was lying there naked the whole time, and they had to put glycerin on her body too.
What for?
I don't remember. And I just
okay.
I just listened. Well, I think.
What is glycerin? Because I bought some ingredients, and one of the main ingredients of something I got was glycerin.
I think it was because. I think it was because she was sweating under the lights or something. And glycerin has a cooling effect.
Okay.
On your skin. I could totally be pulling that out of my ass. But I think that's what it was. Because she couldn't sweat.
So it's an antiperspirant.
It kind of. It would have ruined the makeup.
Yeah.
And the only thing that she wore was a merkin. That was the only thing they gave this poor girl.
Yeah. I thought her vag looked a bit unnatural.
Bushy.
Mm.
All the time, all the moments that you see the close-ups of the hands touching her, that's the director, That's Marcel. I think it was Marcel.
It's very Dario Argento.
Well, I think like Argento, I think it was because he knew exactly the way that
How
he
he
wanted
wants it to look. Yeah.
As well, and that is too. Well, there's a scene when a finger goes inside one of the holes on her torso. That was a fake torso.
Yeah.
And that was
because pus comes out.
Ew. Are you sure that was pus?
Well, it's an infected. Oh,
because they were having a lot of fun with her.
Oh. I once watched this video of a guy getting his boil lanced. It's disgusting.
Why?
Well, I started the clip not knowing what it was. And then we continued singing it forever just because.
Mm-hmm.
Jim always reminds me of Election, the movie.
Who? Jim?
The movie Election?
Just Jim?
No, the gymnasium.
Gymnasiums remind you of Election.
They're in a gymnasium, and it reminds me of the movie Election with Reese Witherspoon.
Yes, I know what the movie is. I read the book.
You bought the t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. It looks like a cheap Kerr Smith. I think that's his name.
I was wondering what the fuck ever happened to him.
The same thing as Jonathan Schkeich.
Sheck.
Sheck.
Yeah, he comes up on the podcast every now and again. I don't know what the hell the deal is with that.
He's like a B character that just comes in when you least expect him.
He comes up almost as much as Madge. What?
Kerr was in like some vampire thing, but I was never, I don't know. I thought he was cute when I first saw him, but then he easily dropped off my radar.
He didn't age well.
No, not that. I think he just wasn't. I think his career just never went anywhere.
No. Well, he was in the first.
I think he was probably in some
movie.
show recently, but anyway.
Yeah.
Like a Brothers and Sisters, you know, some drama that you're surprised is still going.
I would remember that documentary, or one of those documentaries I was telling you about that I found on YouTube, and they were talking about gay representation in cinema and
yes,
gay undertones and stuff. Have you ever seen the movie The Covenant?
Isn't that a gay movie though?
I thought it was supposed to be subtext.
With like, where there's 5 guys or something at a school.
Yeah.
Maybe
Like
maybe I'm thinking of the wrong thing.
Oh, and speaking of which, I keep forgetting to ask you this, and it has nothing to do with this movie, but I'm going to ask you now before I forget.
Yes.
Again, do you remember, like, right around the time The Craft came out, and it was such a big hit, they made this really awful direct-to-video, really, like, blatant ripoff, and it was called Little Witches?
No.
You ever saw that?
No, I don't remember that at all.
Oh, it was so bad, and it was such a ripoff of The Craft.
Yeah. I remember in the 80s there was Teen Witch that I quite liked.
Oh, yes.
That was good. And I used to quite like the old Sabrina. I didn't really get into the new one just because I liked the lightheartedness of the first one.
Listen to this fucking mess.
Yeah, he could have just let it be.
What? Okay.
That'll show him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think either of those directors were doing their jobs. They were probably getting on a coffee break when that take was going because
I didn't realize the camera was still rolling. That was just him in the lot.
That was a bit much. No, I remember. The only thing I remember about Little Witches is they were trying to do. Well, let me just say this first.
Was it better than the Craft remake that they did?
Probably. I only saw it the one time.
Yep.
But let me just say this first. One of the girls was on the heavier side.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a scene where I guess it was supposed to be some kind of invocation. They were trying to, invoke Menal.
Yes.
And they were all naked, of course, because this was, straight to video, and they wanted to have. If it's straight to video, it has to have nudity, so it'll be a rental. So they were all
less uptight actresses.
Well, I don't think any of them were anybody or did anything. But they were all naked and in a circle and like doing some kind of like hand waving thing. No, they weren't chanting, or maybe they were. I don't know. But all I remember is the poor overweight girl was front and center. And she was kind of blocking everybody else. And because it was like they were moving their arms up and down and stepping back, like taking 2 steps back and then 2 steps forward, and the arms are going up and down. And yeah, it was like her ass was going closer to the foreground, and then back, and then closer, and then back, and it's like you couldn't not look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what
that
happened.
left a mark on you.
It did.
So was it a similar story or just?
The only thing I remember about it was that I remember thinking this is a ridiculously obvious ripoff of The Craft, and it was about high school girls who were witches, and it came out right after The Craft. I was curious about the Covenant, though. But fucking...
Had you never seen it?
No.
Is that has there been a few sequels to it?
I don't know. Are you thinking of the Brotherhood?
I might be thinking of that one, yes. That was a very gay one. Like, that was the one that had a rainbow flag on the spine of the DVD, so...
Did it? Well, there's 6 of them, if I am correct, and They were David Dakota movies for his Rapid Heart company, and all they were known for exploiting like college age guys and making them. I think he has a thing for briefs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because they're always in briefs.
Yeah.
And
Is there a lot of white? Do a lot of people in America wear like white fronts
white what?
underwear? What color are your jocks?
Mine, I have a lot. Well, I wear boxer briefs, and I have a bunch of Calvin Klein ones that are heather gray, and I have some Kenneth Cole ones that are black.
Okay.
I have different colors. I don't really wear white that much anymore. I might have one or two.
No, just in a lot of movies, like the guys wear like the white underwear briefs. And I'm thinking, aren't you scared of skid marks?
Yeah, no, that's why you don't wear white. Remember when Neil Patrick Harris did that fucking thing? What was it, on the Academy Awards, where he was in his briefs
Oh, yeah.
and he looked like
Well,
a
he was
10-year-old
naked
boy?
in Gone Girl.
Was he naked?
Yeah. I reckon you saw everything. And
No, that was
no, Ben Affleck, you do as
Ben
well.
Affleck. Yeah, I don't remember.
No,
seeing
I reckon
Neil
you
Patrick
see. I
Harris.
reckon you see Neil as well on the bed.
I don't remember that.
Well, she slits
'Cause-
his throat and gets
Yeah,
off of him.
Yeah, I think she kills him before he does anything.
Yeah.
He tries
Well,
to, and then she kills him.
No, she's having sex with him, and then as he's ejaculating, she slits his
Oh.
throat.
I don't remember. That was a good movie, though. I liked the book too. The author really hasn't written very much.
Did they do Lady on the Train or something?
No, that
Or
was
was-
Paula Hawkins.
Oh, okay.
That was also a really good book, and the movie was not really
Yeah.
much.
No, I heard so much about that. The book was better than the movie. with
Yeah,
that one.
the book is set in the UK, and I don't know why
Yes.
they Americanized it, because it fucked.
And they had
it
a British
up.
actress anyway.
When I read that book, I remember being so amazed that I don't know if you can get it here because I don't drink, but in the UK they love their gin and tonic so much that you can get it pre-mixed in a can.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Well, that was her thing. The main girl, she was like an alcoholic, and she would take the train to
The
work
Gordon's gin and
every
tonic.
day. Yeah, and she would just like chug pre-mixed gin and tonic on the train every day.
That's a drink I dislike either ingredient apart, but when they're together, they're quite nice.
I never had it.
Guess where it ended up?
Did you miss the dick biting scene?
I didn't notice the penis though. Maybe I didn't see it. Maybe I wasn't looking properly.
Well, they spoke about it in the commentary, and they said, I think it was the actor's insistence that they add a couple of inches.
Oh, okay.
She said, what's her name? Jenny Spain. She said that during the scene where she had to bite him, and I guess it was pretty realistic because she got kind of turned on.
Oh, she got turned on
Yeah, that's what she said.
by the biting or by the
By the dick.
fellatio. Oh, okay.
Or maybe she liked him and she was imagining that it was really him.
What's she like? What was she like as an the actress? Her, conversation.
She was very pleasant. She's very proud of the movie. She didn't really mind the nudity. The only time that she had an issue, well, she knew everybody. They all got to know each other before they started filming, which I thought would have been weird. I don't know. I think that would have been weirder because she thought that
If
it
you
would
become
be more.
friends.
Yeah, because it would be.
Yeah.
But she said, we all got to know each other and we all became friends before we started shooting, because we had to do these really, explicit scenes together.
Yeah.
So she was comfortable around them, and she was comfortable around the directors. There was a lot of people. She said that there were definitely certain people in the crew who were standing around just to look at her naked, and she wasn't too happy about that, but she didn't mind so much. The only person she didn't like and thought was kind of creepy was, I believe, the guy who he was responsible for the guns, for the blanks, because she didn't know him. He came in like part way through the shoot.
Yeah.
And she thought he was
on call, kind of.
She thought he was kind of creepy.
Yeah.
And she also said that there is a script written for Deadgirl 2. And this was... The DVD came out in, I think, 2009. And then... Because I think that's when they recorded the commentary with everybody else. And then they brought her... Because the Blu-ray came out in 2012, so they didn't come out together. So when they did the Blu-ray, they asked her to record a commentary for that, and she said that there was a script for Deadgirl 2 that was written, and she didn't know anything. She doesn't know anything about it. She doesn't even know if she's in it. But she sounded like she'd be up for it if she was asked.
Yeah.
She said that when they went to the premiere, she brought like her whole family. And she thought that they were going to be seating them separately, but they were all seated together. And she was kind of embarrassed, but it didn't seem too bad. But she did get accused. I think before her mother saw the movie, and she had told her that there was going to be a lot of nudity and some rapey stuff. That, like, the mother thought that she was
rapey.
The mother thought that she was doing porn. Oh, it's so weird. I don't know if you ever saw the Toolbox Murders, the original one.
Is it Toby Hooper?
No, it's a remake. In name only remake, but the original Toolbox Murders is from the 70s. And the most famous kill in the movie is the girl who's on the cover.
Okay.
And she has a pretty racy scene where she's masturbating in the tub, and the killer creeps up on her, and she gets out of the tub, and he chases her around the apartment, and he's shooting a nail gun at her.
Yeah.
And you see like full bush and everything. And there's an interview with her on the DVD and on the Blu-ray, and she said that when it came out, she went to go see it at the theater that she used to work at when she was 16 with her brothers. So she sat there with her brothers watching a movie in which she is ass naked, masturbating in a bathtub. And where she gets out and you see full bush.
Yeah.
And apparently she didn't think there was anything wrong with that. I think if I ever did become a professional actor, that would be like my biggest fucking
You'd have a no nudity clause?
I don't know. I don't know. But I think that would be my biggest source of anxiety is like members of my family or my extended family seeing a movie that I was in naked.
Yeah.
I don't know how people who do porn are not,
I'm sure that their household wasn't a very...
Well, yeah. Well, I saw a documentary about, it was partially about a gay porn performer who I don't believe is in the business anymore. But he was very close with his mother, and she knew. And he also did, like layouts in magazines and shit. And he would cut the pictures, like cut his dick out and shit, and send her like censored versions of his layouts, and she'd be so proud.
Oh. Well, if it's work that you can get, then I don't think if you're proud of your work, then good. But if you're doing it,
I'm not saying porn is wrong. I'm saying
no. I feel badly for ones who end up in porn and don't enjoy the experience.
Well, you have to be knowledgeable about the business, and you have to know that you can say no to things. Because those who don't, they get chewed up and spat back out. And it happens a lot.
Yeah. I think the current wave of OnlyFans is good for porn. People to make money without someone stifling their money from them.
Ex-porn stars, yeah. I know. Well, there's one
and then upcoming ones that sort of want to create a name for themselves.
Yeah. Well, they got to get money to OnlyFans, though, don't they?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I would assume if OnlyFans is hosting their stuff, and they have to go through them.
Yeah. I'm sure that well, I'm sure it's less of a percentage than a pimp or even an agent.
Well, a lot of them don't have agents. if you're lucky, you get contracted to a certain company,
Yeah.
and they pay you per scene.
Per shot.
Per shot.
Johnny is dead. This bitch is dead. Now you're dead too.
I remember it was a big fucking deal because Jenna Jameson was the first porn star to ever have a contract to a company.
Okay.
She was Wicked Pictures. She was contracted with. And then they got Chasey Lane not long after that.
Ah, yep. I always remember in university we were doing a course on copyright and like just the legalities of website building. And the lecturer put up all of these statutes, and a lot of them were the plaintiff was Playboy. and he was saying, I'm not a fan of Playboy, but they a lot of the statutes were created by Playboy because they like to keep their bunny ears very private. So they sue a lot of people, and that's why they created statutes.
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't understand why Playboy was, and it still kind of is to a degree, the go-to when people think of porn, when it's like the most tame of all porn.
Well, probably because it's entry-level porn, yeah. And also because it's been around, I mean, probably the longest.
No.
Of porn that's around at the moment, I mean, of magazines. What do you think has been longer?
Well, there have been like, well, there have been like magazines that were, I don't know if they had any text or anything, but you could get them at newsstands, and that was like in the 50s, early 50s.
But did they have a name?
Probably. Well, a lot of them were sold as fitness for gay porn. They were,
Okay.
You didn't know that?
No. Well, no, but I didn't look up the history of gay porn.
Well, yeah, that's how it started. It was like, they were called, like cheesecake shots or some shit like that, where they would be like bodybuilders in the smallest possible, like G-strings. Yeah. Or they would have like two guys like all oiled up in wrestling, a la Psycho Beach Party.
Yes.
But it was all under the pretense that this was, supposed to be fitness.
Yeah.
And sometimes there would be jock straps.
Well, that's for sporting purposes.
Yes, of course. They talk a lot about it in the there's a documentary it's really interesting. It's about a porn star named Jack Wrangler.
Oh, yep.
John Waters is in it. But it talks a lot about the evolution of gay porn.
See, I was wondering if this scene was here to sort of show how they don't know how to treat a living person. Like, they've only encountered a restrained zombie.
No.
Sort of in a way of how, you know, when there are guys who only know porn, they then don't know how to treat real people.
Yeah. Oh. Oh. You know, this movie kind of has a bit of a Larry Clark vibe.
Oh, yeah, but see, he I find quite sleazy. And when I say sleazy, I mean with the... in camera shots where there is no sex. Like, I always remember one scene, and again, even with going back to Wild Things, when Denise Richards coming out of the pool, it's slow motion, you see full on nipple and hair moving around. There was one Larry Clark movie where one of the girls was going like from a front seat to a back seat in a car, and like the camera angle like showed right up her skirt.
Oh.
And so like it's a non-sexual scene, but every point of view of the angle was sleazy.
And you saw Rear Burger?
No, she was wearing underwear, but I reckon this was in Bully.
Yeah, there was an oral history about Bully that I was reading the other day because this is the 20th anniversary.
Oh, yeah. When did Brad Renfro die? Like about 18 years ago?
He died, I think, 4 years after Bully.
Yeah.
So, like 05. I know what movie was good with him? Apt Pupil.
Oh, yeah. I watched it once and didn't mind. I haven't watched it again, though.
It stayed very true to Stephen King's novella.
Yeah. But he sort of went down the line of Edward Furlong. Like, by way of, it became quite drug fucked.
Yes, he did.
And I think that's what he died from in the end.
He did. Well, I don't... Well... fucking... Larry Clark seems kind of...
Predatory.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but he also seems a little...
Pedo?
No, you're like going in the totally wrong direction.
Philanthropic? No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, he was a philanthropist. No, I mean, like, he seems like a little, like, out there, a little kooky, a little weird. At least from what I've seen of him in interviews and shit, he doesn't seem like he's altogether there. And
Yeah.
so I'm not sure if I would really necessarily believe much of what he says, but he said that he waited for Brad Renfro to turn 18 to do Bully, and at that time he was living in a trailer with his grandmother, Brad Renfro, and Larry answered the door or knocked at the door, and Brad came and he had blood dripping down his forearms because he was shooting up cocaine.
Yeah.
And he said get in the car. I gotta go. I'm gonna take you someplace. I don't know. Okay, take you to get something. Oh, it's gonna go get some coffee. You know, supposed to get some coffee. Talk about the movie. And he drove him to Florida from there.
Yeah.
And he said throughout the drive, he was going through withdrawal because he was.
Yeah, but if he just shot up, how long was the drive?
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Did you ever see that music clip? I think it was Sonic Youth, but it was of Macaulay Culkin shooting up or something in the After Effect.
No.
I reckon that was it. Yeah, I'll have to look it up once this is done. But yeah, I reckon that there's a famous clip of basically just that of him taking a hit and then.
And it was real?
Demeanor changing. Yeah.
Oh. The girl he was married to is in Bully.
Mila Kunis? Or were they not married?
No, they weren't married.
Oh.
Remember when he got married when he was 18 and it was like a big controversy?
Not really, no. But I feel like you sort of sparked a memory. Who was the girl?
I don't
How old
remember.
was she? Yeah.
She was the same age. They were the same age.
Yeah, yeah.
They were married for like, I don't know, a year or two.
Yeah.
Bijou Phyllis was in Bully, and like whenever I hear stories about her, she just seems like a fucking giant cunt.
Yeah, apparently she was quite mean in Hostel 2.
Yeah. Well, did you listen to my Hostel 2 commentary? Because I heard they told that whole fucking story in there.
Yeah, that might have been where I heard it.
Yeah, but there was one guy in Bully who was, I think, it wasn't Brad Renfro and it wasn't Nick Stahl. It was the other guy, I guess.
Daniel?
And
Fred, the one from Mean Girls?
maybe because he,
The chubby gay guy?
I think so. Yes.
Okay.
Because he had gained a little bit of weight or something, and he had to take his shirt off for a certain scene. And
Yeah.
Bijou Phillips was on the set, and she looked and she saw him, and she was like, "Ugh, you are so gross." And it got to him so much that he stormed off the set.
Yeah.
And because he wasn't feeling good about the way he looked, and he really didn't want to do the scene.
Well, you want support, especially if it's that type of scene.
Well, he said that Brad Renfro chased after him, stopped him, whirled him around, kissed him on the mouth, and said, "You're an amazing actor, and you're beautiful, and don't let her ruin this for you."
Yeah.
Which I thought was quite nice, especially the kissing on the mouth.
You had to hear the story again because you zoned out after that.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know he was a junkie in Bully. I thought he was very cute.
No, I remember the stories. I think it was after Apt Pupil because that came out before Bully, didn't it?
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was like
I remember hearing it around
96.
then that he was a drug user. He was trying to get clean, but it wasn't working.
Well, he would have been like 14.
I don't understand where
younger
these
than
young
that.
people get drugs from. Like, how they're
they get
going
them-
out and getting. Well, I mean, they don't go anywhere to.
If,
And
you're
if I was
famous,
at, if
they'll
I
let
was
you
at a
in
nightclub,
anyway.
well, yeah, but if I went to a nightclub and I saw like a 12-year-old celebrity, I'd be like, what are they doing here?
I really want to see, and I doubt there's going to be an audio described version of it, but that documentary that Soleil Moonfry put out. Did you hear about that? It's called
No.
Kid 90, I think. And apparently when she was like in her heyday and like in the early 90s, she...
Is that Punky Brewster?
Yes, dear.
Okay.
She used to go around with the camcorder and tape everything, and she had all of these VHS tapes of her with stars at the time, and when she was dating Brian Austin Green, I think, and she went through all these tapes that she hadn't seen, I think, ever, and she put together this documentary about being famous at that time.
Yeah.
And there's like, River Phoenix and stuff before he died, and
Corey Haim and Brad Renfro. Amy Winehouse.
oh, she sounds mad.
No, she's headed off.
Oh, Jesus. What are you laughing about? Did you see the prosthetic?
Penis.
Mm.
No, I didn't, but maybe an eagle eye viewer does.
You might have to rewind it.
JT, why'd you do this, man? Why? Why'd you do it, man? JT, what the...
Do you know what JT stands for?
No, I don't.
Justin Timberlake.
Oh, of course. I'm the one who's supposed to get be getting punchy about now. Oh, you're drunk. That's what it is.
No, I've been drinking water for this one.
I won't let you die. I'm having Nightmare on Elm Street 3 flashbacks. I won't let you die.
I'll take you to a happy place or whatever. No,
Don't fuck it up. I'm gonna dream you into a beautiful dream. Forever and ever.
Couldn't she dream of cash?
And then they play that.
See,
sad,
I don't know
sad
why this
music.
girl's being like, stop it. I don't see why she's still being like spitting in his face at the end. Like, wouldn't you want some help?
No,
Instead of like proving how undesirable someone is.
Oh my god. Now listen to this sad music.
Like she isn't a bigger whore than he is.
It's like, boo.
I do like it when they let her shop, though.
Yeah, you get really happy. Oh, I was looking at the latest additions to Audio Vault, and they have Romeo and Michelle in an audio described version.
Oh, if you're ever keen to do a non-horror, we can easily do that.
Well, I know it already very well, but we can't do that. No.
All right. Have you ever seen the movie The Gift with Joel Edgerton?
Was that the one with Jason Bateman?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Did you enjoy it?
No.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was a lot of build-up to nothing.
Did you fart?
Yes, I did. With my lips. Remember that other movie, The Gift, when Katie Holmes showed her titties?
Yes. You know, I liked that movie. That was Kate Blanchett and Billy Bob. But I was reading... Yeah, I think Tom Cruise didn't want her to do it. Or was that before she met Tom Cruise?
I thought it was before.
It might have been... No, what it was is she was in the original Batman with Christian Bale. And then after that, she was with Tom Cruise. And he didn't want her to be in the sequel because he thought it was too violent for her, I reckon. So she got to be in Mad Money instead.
Oh my God. That's the one with Diane Keaton, right?
Yes, and Queen Latifah.
Oh. My ex used to go date someone who was obsessed with that movie.
Was it you?
No. And
because your ex dated you.
He did. It was somebody else. But that was the only thing he knew Diane Keaton from.
Really?
Which is really sad. And
yes.
I don't think he knew her name. And he saw her in like a store or something. And he went up to her and he told her how much he loved Mad Money, which was a huge fucking
a bomb,
flop.
yeah.
It was critically panned. I don't remember what her reaction was.
It's like, oh, that was you?
Would you shut your face? No, not me. God, who's gonna step on my punchlines, man?
Oh, I thought you finished the story.
Yeah, I did. But when I said I finished it, you fucked it up.
Well, that was Deadgirl.
I don't understand why you're tormenting me.
For kicks.
Well, why don't you go fuck a sheep? Or your sister? Or yourself?
Sorry, I got a bit of a stutter.
A stutter? Yeah, that was Deadgirl. but you wouldn't know it because we were talking about Showgirls and Brad Renfro
and all the rest. We did talk a bit about Deadgirl. It was like a 40-60.
Oh, I wouldn't say that much at all.
We talked about Deadgirl more than we talked about Alison's birthday.
I don't even know. I think this was an Allison's birthday part 2. And that's one of my least downloaded episodes, by the way, which upsets me because that means nobody hears you pee.
I'm happy about I was embarrassed hearing myself pee.
I think it's I think it's the least downloaded episode because
probably because it's a lesser known movie.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
It wasn't my urination that. Maybe you should have advertised it as the one that you get to hear.
I should have, but I was going to make it a surprise. I thought it would be. Well, I do talk about it in The Crush.
Oh, yes.
So, I'm talking about it now. So, yeah, everybody go back and listen to the Allison's birthday episode because you can hear Tony pissing in the yard like a fucking dog. And I'm embarrassed but I never told this to you, but because that was sort of one of our early ones, and I still wasn't used to what I was using. I had brought the microphone out with me on accident. So that's why you got to hear it so succinctly. Whereas if I were to do it now, I'd leave the microphone in the room. Mm-hmm. And I can't believe you just said on accident again.
Accidentally brought it out with me.
Or by accident. Thank you. Say by accident. Say it.
By accident.
Thank you.
All right.
That was the fucking... I was going to say The Crush. I don't even know where I am. I have to pee so fucking bad. So I'm going to wrap this up. What was this movie? Deadgirl. Yeah. So we just did
Lovely to be here again with you.
Yeah.
We'll have to do it again in the future.
Yeah, maybe we'll do Little Witches.
Yes.
You probably find that on YouTube.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to say thank you to Tony for joining me. And thank you to everybody.
Thank you, Brandon, for having me.
Of course. Always a pleasure. And thank you to everybody for listening. And until next time, this is Brandon Ford wishing you all unpleasant dreams.